Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So glad to see you. So glad to see you. This is actually our ministry and marketplace discussion. And so today I am Coach Bernard. I wear a lot of hats, carry a lot of different functions. And so today I'm Coach Bernard, and I want to talk to you today about ministry and the marketplace. And today we're going to be looking at creative process. What is your creative process? So I'm going through my notes right now, and go ahead and write your name in the chat box. And we're going to get started because this is not going to be a long. This is not going to be a long discussion. Okay, so we welcome you. Looking hopeful that some more people are going to join us. But if not, we are thankful for the one who is here with us today, and I hope you've had an incredible week. And I hope that today was a great day for you, and that this discussion. Now, I'm going to wait a few minutes, so if you don't mind writing your, if you don't mind writing your name, so I'll know who you are. I see one person has joined us, and so if you don't mind writing your name, we certainly would like to know who you are. Certainly would like to know who you are. All right. And if you don't want to write your name, that's okay. That's okay as well. So yes, that's okay. Yes. All right then. So on Fridays we like to devote this day to ministry in the marketplace, and what we are endeavoring to do is we're endeavoring to help. Hey Tamar from Greater London, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Wow, really excited to have you on. And so we want to talk about ministry and the marketplace, and we want to talk about how to. Hey Yolanda, appreciate you. I didn't get a chance to greet you. I think it was Tuesday night, and so it's always a blessing to see you on with us. All right, and so our whole take on ministry in the marketplace is we want to help people who help believers who are in ministry. We want to help them navigate between ministry and the marketplace. What often happens to people, and particularly to those who are in vocational ministry. And what we call vocational ministry is full time, lifetime ministry, where there's a calling on your life to walk out one of the fivefold functions, one of the grace functions, which is given in Ephesians 4:11. A vocational minister is someone who is either an apostle, a prophet, a teacher, an evangelist, or a pastor. They have a call on their life. They're called to ministry. But what often happens in the church is once we're called to ministry, we believe that that's all that we have to offer. That's all that we have to really walk in. And so then once we start to develop programs and products, and once we have ideas on how to create streams of income and wealth for ourselves, I mean, we try to force that into the ministry, and that often creates problems among the people that we minister to, because we're trying to do marketplace in the ministry. And then there are other ministers who are so committed to their ministry, they're so committed to doing ministry. Y'all excuse me, I had something to eat right before the live stream, and it looked like something that's caught in my teeth. Wow. Okay. So and so a lot of people who are, they're called in ministry, but they're in the marketplace either through work or through business, and they're trying to take their ministry into the marketplace. And the truth of the matter is the marketplace is not a place for ministry, the marketplace doesn't fit into ministry, and ministry doesn't fit into the marketplace. That was never the Lord's idea. So that was sort of like man's idea. And as you're coming on with us, please write your name in the chat box. So that was man's idea, and it's not working. So what the Lord has one of my assignments is to help those who are in minister. Now, you don't have to be a vocational minister to be in ministry. The truth of the matter is, all of us who are believers are also ministers, okay? And we have different types of ministry. Some of us minister out of our gifts. Some of us minister within the community, or within the local community that we are a part of. Some of us minister in the world through through the ministry of reconciliation, and so we're all ministers. And then the truth also is we're all in the marketplace. So how do I navigate so that I can do both? All right, and so this is really the essence, and this is the kind of coaching and mentoring that we want to offer to ministers. How do I do ministry without bringing the marketplace into my ministry? And how do I enter into the marketplace to make a living, to create streams of income, to create wealth? Because the Lord told us he would give us power to get wealth. And some of us, we get wealth through through what's here. Okay, as we operate in what is in our brain and in our mind, that's how we develop wealth. Okay, so we're talking today about your creative process, and I want you to write in the chat box, Tamar and Yolanda. I want you to write, what is your creative gift, or what is your creative expression? Okay, now my creative gift, my creative expression is writing. Okay, that is primarily, even though I have other creative gifts as well, but writing is the foundation of my creativity. Okay, and I use writing in a lot of different ways. So I write books, and I also write lessons, and I write scripts, and I do a lot in the writing field. All right. So, because I'm a writer, in order for me to succeed as a writer, I have to have a process, and that's what we want to talk talk about with you today. What is your process? So do you have? Are you creative? Okay, are you creative? Because here's the deal. Just like we're all ministers, everyone who is a believer is a minister. Everyone who is in the marketplace, okay. And Yolanda writes, talking, teaching, communication. Okay, that's great. That's great. So Yolanda is a talker. That's how. So she uses words in her conversation, and then she is a teacher, and she communicates. All right. So that is how you create. Now specifically, Yolanda, tell me, what do you create from talking, teaching, and communication? All right. And Yolanda said writing is in me. Okay, that's very good. I just need to get it out. Yeah, that's very true. One of the ways that we stimulate our writing gift is through journaling. Okay, is through journaling or writing short stories. All right. So my next question to you, Yolanda, was how what are you creating with your different expressions? What are you creating with your talking, your teaching, and communication? And if you don't have an answer, that's okay. That's okay as well. All right, all right, all right. I'm just gonna wait because I gotta keep talking. Okay. All right. All right. So Yolanda says I do a lot of street ministry and evangelism. Okay, so then your creativity is primarily exercised in ministry then. All right, and that's very good, because here's the deal. We want to be creative in ministry. We want to be creative in ministry. So if we're doing street ministry, because what often happens with a lot of I was a member of a church in the '90s before I started pastoring, and we did a lot of street ministry, but we used tracts, and so we would go out on the street and we would give tracts to people that lived in the neighborhood surrounding the church. Really wasn't anything creative about that. All right. And so when I became a pastor, I won't forget this, because I became creative in evangelism by training the members of the church. I was actually training the members of the church how to be evangelistic. And so I had uh, uh, this whole creative class that I created, and I was training people. So that's very important. Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, okay, Yolanda. Well, it's okay if you don't know how to use that in the marketplace, uh, because if you are a communicator, then you one of the ways that we communicate, because I communicate in the marketplace, and so I'm a coach. I'm a life coach, and so I've been doing this. I've been a life coach now for 7 years, and so I have used, I've used the gift of communication in order to coach people in various areas. So you can always discover where your gift is, and a lot of times you may need a coach yourself, or you may need a mentor, but you can always find how am I creative in the marketplace? How am I creative in ministry? Because one of the things I want to do as a coach is I want to help ministers to find their creativity. I want to help ministers find their creativity, and then I want to help them also find their place in the marketplace. All right. So so what is a creative process? Okay. People say that I should coach or mentor, but I feel I need that for myself. Well, listen, you can do it yourself as well as do it for others. Because I've been a coach for 7 years, but I've also had coaches. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for a coach right now. I'm just not is that I've been in so many coaching programs, I pretty much know how the program is gonna go, and so I've gotten kind of tired of it. But I'm always on the lookout for a coach that can help me to increase my skill, increase my increase my profitability. Because coaching is not ministry for me; it's marketplace, so it's business. So, what is the purpose of coaching? Well, making money. I coach to make money, and I don't apologize for that. So you should always do both. You don't ever want to get to a place where you are not being coached or mentored yourself. Okay, I've had one mentor for 10 years now, and she speaks incredibly in my life. Okay, so let's look at the coaching process or the creative process. And Yolanda, this is since someone else has joined, but Yolanda, I'm going to take the next 15 minutes and I'm going to kind of use you as a student. Okay. No, and I don't apologize, Yolanda. I don't apologize. And when people go to, taking pot shots at me, and religious people are always talking about how you need to do that for free. Okay, well that's a poverty mindset, right? That's a poverty mindset. And listen, it has been my experience that whenever I do something without charge for a person, that person always despises me. I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is. One of my relatives tried to take advantage of me. And when I told them they were going to have to pay for the services, then they got upset with me and started talking about me to other members of our family and all that. So it never fails. You don't help people when you give them something and they're not paying for it or they're not giving. Now in ministry, I don't charge for ministry. When I'm ministering in Renaissance Network, I don't charge for that. When I'm praying for people, I don't charge. So ministry, I don't charge. But in my business, I charge, and I don't care if you don't like it, then go find somebody free. I lost one of my mentees last year because she got hooked up with somebody that was offering something for free, right? Yeah. So Yolanda says when we don't charge, we enable the people to think that because I'm your auntie or your uncle, you don't have to pay me. And that's the wrong thing. That is true. And that's why a lot of times you can't deal with family because family, is familiar. And that familiar spirit, is a demon, but then familiarity is a mindset. And that's what happened with Jesus. The people in Nazareth were familiar with him. His family was familiar with him. I'm trying not to minister or trying not to preach, but they were, you know, they were familiar with him, and so they could not see him as the Son of God. They only saw him as Joseph's son, Mary's son, and so they could not receive from him. And that's how a lot of people are. They cannot receive. Hey, Rhonda, good to see you. I've got 4 people on, so please write your name in the chat box. So here's what we're going to do, Yolanda. I want to help you develop a creative process. Okay. Yeah, and they have to pay somewhere else. They because they're not gonna get anything. And so that's the ironic thing. All right. But and please like, I don't always say that, but please I don't know where that like button is, but hit the like button because that helps the algorithms and it helps other people find me. So Yolanda, I want to talk to you about your creative process. Okay. So let's say you're ready to write, okay, and you want to develop a process for writing. That's the creative process, okay. So what you have to do, Yolanda, is you don't find time, you make time. Remember that time belongs to you. You are the steward and the owner of your time, right? And so you have to make time. I don't like it when people say finding time because finding time suggests that time is beyond you and you got to go looking for it. But time belongs to you. Time is a gift from God. So Yolanda, let's say you're going to look for time. When is the best time of the day that you can write? Okay. When is the best time of the day that you can write? It might be early in the morning. I get up at 5 o'clock every morning, and I give that first hour to my business, and I give that first hour to my business. So I'm usually writing in the morning, okay, 5 to 6 o'clock, but I'm also doing so. It's actually not a whole hour, okay, but that's one of the reasons why I'm up at 5 o'clock a.m. every morning. So I want you to write, Yolanda. When is the best time for you to write? All right. And so what I'm doing, and all of you can use this, but I'm just simply using Yolanda as a coach, as a coaching client, and I want to coach her through finding her process. Okay. So just go ahead and write, Yolanda. When is the best time for you to write? And I'm just assuming because you said that you want to write, you need to write. And so I'm going to help you this afternoon develop a writing process. Okay. All right. Rhonda says I need to make time. Very good. Very good. All right. So I need to make time for the mornings. Evening seems better, but in the evening I'm tired and worn out. Exactly. And that's why I don't do anything in the evening. because usually when I get home, I am exhausted from working all day. I'm exhausted from being up since 5 o'clock in the morning, and I can't really devote myself to doing anything. Now, sometimes I can work in the evening, but most of the time I can't. So you have to find time in the morning. All right. So what time do you? And I'm assuming you work. You are you a full time worker, Yolanda? Do you work? All right. I'm waiting for your answer because most of the time, most of us cannot operate in the evening if we are working a full time job, or even if you're at home, if you are a homemaker, or you are hey Grace, I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. So glad to see you. All right. So most of the time, the evening is not a good time for us to really create. All right. So then the mornings, we're gonna have to really make time in the morning. We have to make time in the morning. Okay. And so again, that's why I'm up every morning at 5 a.m. All right. And so even then, okay. All right. Stress from the office, full-time job makes us tired. Yeah, 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 yeah. It really does. It really does. So you have to find time in the morning. So go ahead and write uh what's the best time, and you may have to get up early. You may have to get up earlier. I'm even thinking now, because I'm trying to finish a couple of books. Okay. So you run a home for hospice patients. Okay. But you didn't tell me what, okay. So what time do you get up in the morning, if I might ask? Yolanda, tell me what time are you normally up in the morning? All right. So I'm thinking of actually moving it back an hour because I need to finish a book that I started some months ago, and I haven't made the time to finish it. So I'm thinking of getting up at 4 instead of 5 o'clock. Because when I get up at 5, I don't I don't have a full hour because I got to shower and I got to get dressed and I have to do other things. And so usually I have about 30 minutes to really devote to writing and such as that. Okay. So Yolanda, can if that question is inappropriate, then that's okay. But I just wanted to know what time do you get up. But here's the thing, y'all. You just have to make time. You just have to make time in the morning. And it needs to be about 30, 40 minutes. Okay, whatever you're creatively doing, whether that's writing or designing or drawing, if you're working on your business, you're working on whatever creative thing you're doing, you have to give it time, and that's a part of the process. Okay, um, and it should be okay. All right. All right, so you're up at 4 and 5 o'clock. So I think for whatever you're trying to do, you just need to get up earlier. If you can get up an hour early and devote that first hour to your creativity, to however you're creating, if it's writing, if you're working on your communication, if you're creating a business or whatever, you should get up at least an hour. Okay. Number two. Okay. Number two, you want to start out at your comfort level. Okay. So this is very important, Yolanda. You don't want to overdo it. Okay. You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself. You want to create a flow that you can operate in that's comfortable for you. Okay. So that's the second part of creating a process, is that in the process, it needs to be something that you can flow in. So even if it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, okay, it needs to be within a time frame that you can operate in. All right. So that's another part of how of a process. Number three, you need to see the end of the process. All right. So whenever I'm writing a book, I usually give myself so many days and I'm going to finish it, but I've already seen the end. Okay, that's very important. When you're creating, you need to see the end, because by seeing the end, that's going to motivate you. Okay, even if it changes, even if it changes, you want to see the end of your process. Why am I working? What am I creating? What is the end going to be? All right. Number four, you want to give yourself time to rest. So there are some days where you just probably need to walk away from your process. Okay? It's okay to walk away as long as you come back to it. Don't walk away forever, but you want to come back to it. Okay, so that's another important. So these are some of the things that we do. Okay, and when you are operating in your process, when you're operating in your process, what's going to happen? Okay, what's going to happen is uh, what's going to happen is you're building confidence, and you're creating a flow that's going to help you to create. All right. uh exactly, Grace says that it yes, it requires a lot of diligence. Corporate job does not feel life-giving. Businesses does but need money to pay the bills. Yeah, that's very true. And that's why most of us, because we're not and I've been listen, I've been creating since 2009 when I published my first book. I've never reached the level of making a full-time employee, full-time income from my creativity. I've had good years. Right now I'm probably in one of the greatest challenges, but the good thing is because I don't have the clients that I used to have. People are not buying my courses. They're not buying my books like they used to. And so, but I'm also in the best place because I'm seeing a new beginning. I'm seeing a new process. I'm seeing new possibilities. All right. And so, yeah. So seeing the end of the process is very important. Why? What do I see at the end? And that's what's going to keep you motivated. All right. Any questions about ministry or about the marketplace? I'm wrapping this up. Um, it's Friday, so I'm going out this evening. It's one of the reasons why I look forward to Fridays, is I get to go out with one of my favorite people in the earth. And so I'll be going out very soon. And any questions from y'all? Thank y'all for being a part. Thank you, Yolanda. And so I hope that I've given you something to kind of create your process, okay? To get started in your process, whatever that is. You may need to develop your coaching business. You may need to develop a mentoring program. You may need to start writing, but maybe before you write a book, you need to just take 30 days and write in a journal. Okay, that may be what you need to do. And all right, so if there's no questions, hey, I'm getting ready to get out of here. Listen, I want to. I've got a few. Um, I've got a few links at the top. If you want to join my mailing list, there's a link where you can go to and join my mailing list. If you're interested in a free strategy with me about coaching, marketplace, ministry, there's a link there for you where you can sign up at. And then if you want to order my book, Prophetic Dreams and Visions, I know Rhonda has a copy of that book. So if you want to get a copy of that book, you can order it there at that. You can order it at that landing page, and I will mail it to you. Okay. So thanks for being a part. I'm going to be back next Friday. Hopefully, we'll be back next Friday, and we'll have another discussion on ministry and the marketplace. All right. Shalom. I'll see you. Yes, and this Sunday, my workshop, or not my workshop, the ministry, the network that I lead, Renaissance Prophetic Network, will be meeting for worship this Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're not a part of a worship, you're not a part of a community, then I want to welcome you to join us this Sunday at 11 o'clock. God bless you. Shalom.